Welcome to the Spirit of our area, where we ride beyond the map and every stop becomes a story. Today we're heading south from Penamacor to our nearest large city, Castelo Branco, and that's a ride of about 50 kilometres. We're heading back to the very beginning of this landscape, the stone beneath and the world that came after. This is the land before kingdoms, roads or cities existed. At Parc Barracal, we're hoping to walk across granite that began forming over 310 million years ago. This is a road that we know quite well, as we drive it weekly to go shopping. The day is forecast rain all day, so let's see how this affects our plans. But for now, the sky looks quite delightful. Once again, we're following the N233 for most of the way south. This road is one of the main roads leading along this area. It's nice and wide and fast flowing. Although 90 kilometers is the speed limit, that doesn't stop you from being overtaken. The roads are mostly tree lined and gently flowing, with a dip into a valley and back out again. Even here, where much of the landscape is farmland, rocky outcrops break through. Small fragments of the older landscape that the wildlife have learned to live around. We passed through 3 small settlements on the way, one of which has a festa happening this weekend. These villages with small local populations are home to the people that work and play in this sometimes hostile landscape. And it's the middle of May now, and even with the higher than average rainfall this year, you can see that the grass in the fields is still starting to turn brown. We arrived in the city of Castelo Branco, where the roads mirror the landscape. The roads inside the old town are laid using basalt calçada. It is a traditional way to stabilise slope treats and handles heat and wear much better than asphalt. It is a labour-intensive and highly skilled profession. It is considered a dying craft, as many experienced calceteiros are retiring and not enough young apprentices are replacing them. The city streets are a reminder of when people were literally shaping the ground, stone by stone. Just like most cities, Castelo Branco is a maze. So obviously, I got us a little bit lost. A quick little recalculation, and just a few minutes we arrived at our first destination, Parc Barracal. As you first pull up, it looks impressive, and all of the times we have visited Castelo Branco, we've never really taken note of the scale of the place. Straight away from the entrance gates, you can see some of the magnificent architecture. Now, I do realise that beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and that to some people, the magnificent red zigzag ramp leading to the top of the park may evoke some strong opinions. So, let me know what you think in the comments. When we entered, we were surprised to find that visiting this amazing attraction is totally free. There are toilets here and a small cafe at the main entrance, but sadly the cafe wasn't open on the day we visited. As we climbed higher, the landscape slowly unfolded around us. And as for the award-winning architecture, I think it's beautifully done. It allows people to safely explore the landscape whilst quietly drawing you deeper amongst the ancient stones and the stories they hold. There are places to rest and information to help you interpret what you are seeing. And whilst the path is set for you to follow, you are encouraged to interact with the stones in some areas. And this is where you can get up close and personal with the massive boulders deposited on this site. Following the man-made boardwalks, you experience the old and the new, existing effortlessly side by side. Ancient granite boulders formed millions of years ago beneath the Earth's surface remain rooted in place, while Castelo Branco continues to expand and evolve around them. But this park isn't just about geology. It is also a space dedicated to helping Portugal's native flora and fauna flourish right alongside the city. Native plants are allowed to reclaim the landscape, creating sanctuary for the birds, reptiles and insects that these ancient stones call home. One of my favourite aspects was how naturally the pathways integrate with the landscape. At times they guide you directly into the granite itself, gently moulded to fit the ancient stone so perfectly that they feel like part of the environment rather than something added later. At times, the walkways give way to dirt paths that invite you deeper into the landscape to explore its more unusual natural structures. And here, a cluster of boulders believed to have been used as a sacred site from the Bronze Age right through to the Roman times, with a raised platform where communities may once have gathered for ceremonies, storytelling, or the sharing of knowledge. The path shifts again, away from ancient gathering stones and towards a modern shaped passage, the Tunnel do Lagatu, where art and architecture create a different kind of shelter within the landscape. We first passed through in shade, the tunnel cool and subdued, its form absorbing the light around us. From there, we arrived at another gathering space, the Dome Circle, a modern place for lectures and meetings, continuing the same idea of people coming together, just in a different form. And once again, on our day out, we got rained on. But this time, we had taken no chances. We had rain gear. So, once the downpour stopped, we continued on our quest. And the next few viewpoints did not disappoint. They guided us deeper into the heart of the park, and with ancient granite beneath our feet, we gazed out across a sea of boulders and towards a view stretching as far as the weather would allow. Next, we headed over to the unusual structure that we'd spotted in the distance, which turned out to be a 360-degree bird hide. Apparently, at certain times of the year, This is a brilliant place for bird lovers and serious twitchers alike. Off in search of our next viewpoint, we discovered this one was a little more quirky than the others. To get there, we had to cross a very springy suspension bridge, swaying gently above the rocks below. We began circling back towards the main reception area, still finding interesting things along the way. One of them was this remarkable boulder, which was caught up in not just one but two magma flows, traces of which are visible to see if you know what you're looking for, or if you have a sign pointing it out. With a little time and imagination, you could spend hours here. We took the shorter route back this time, though there is a longer, wilder path to explore. As we made our way back, we discovered a huge cracked boulder just waiting in the landscape. Now, I'm not entirely sure whether we should let the main desk know, but there may be a prehistoric baby dinosaur wandering around in the park. Cracked open like an egg. Okay. It feels like a place where the ancient world is still just beneath the surface. And just when we thought the excitement had come to an end, we discovered the children's park. And with no children in sight, we took it upon ourselves to test some of the main features. Sadly, rubber waterproof trousers meant we had to decline the full experience of those incredible slides. Branco Park, a place where geology, imagination and a slightly questionable sense of adventure all meet. Next, with my finely honed hunter-gatherer skills, I found us lunch. I got us a bit lost again and again and again in the same place in Castelo Branco, until my husband's natural instinct to head up the hill to find the castle at the top prevailed. He rushed up the hill, and inevitably I got lost again. I don't know which route my sat-nav wanted to take me to the top, but as this is the only road to the castle, I think it was a little confused. Not unlike me. We set out our lunch on the walls of the castle, and little did we know we'd crashed at someone else's table. This cleverly disguised praying mantis popped his head up to see what we had got for lunch. Not being anything of interest to him, he slowly made his way back down. And I couldn't leave the castle walls without giving you a quick walk around what is left of the castle here at Castelo Branco. As I walk the remains of the walls, the structure itself is modest, almost understated, but the view from up here more than makes up for it. The whole region stretches out in every direction, and it feels right to pause here for a final moment, looking out across the region below before I turn my reflections back to the day on everything that we discovered along the way. It's been a day of stone, landscape and quiet surprises, and I really was surprised by just how long you could spend looking at rocks. Somehow the whole experience ended up being much more interactive, engaging, and genuinely fun than I expected. And once again, I really appreciated seeing the information boards in both Portuguese and English. Now, we didn't actually finish our ride here and go straight home. We continued south from Castelo Branco to Vila Velha de Rodeo, and we will definitely be visiting this region again. Thank you for joining us in Barracal Park. If you've enjoyed this video, please give us a thumbs up and leave a comment about your thoughts of the architecture. Did you love it or did you hate it? Every like, subscribe, share and comment helps this channel to grow and incentivizes me to go and produce more. We'll see you next time.